Hey everyone, and welcome back to Country Music Made Me. Thank you so much for joining us once again. If you haven't already, please be sure to check out our website, countrymusicmademe.com. There you can listen to all of our episodes, and you can also sign up for our newsletter to receive weekly exclusive content like previews of upcoming episodes. Just head over to countrymusicmademe.com and hit that subscribe button. Now, today's episode. We are excited to be joined by newcomer Dalton Dover. Now, he exploded onto the scene last year in 2021, and in 2022, he has been named an artist to watch by both Spotify and Country Now. Although his career in country music is just getting started, the dream of a career in country music has been going for a long time. Ever since his teenage years, he has been chasing this dream, and he is so grateful and excited that it is finally coming true. So please enjoy our conversation with Dalton Dover. Singing, let's talk about that. That started in church. What age were you when you jumped up and started singing in church?
I remember singing in church when I was like 5 years old, man, beside my grandpa. And we would have the same song we'd sing every single Sunday morning. So, singing, that's just something I've always loved to do. And, my grandpa sings also. So it's kind of come natural for me. And I've always just enjoyed doing it and never really found myself. I always loved it and always, wouldn't have mind doing it as a job. But, I just never knew it happened so quickly.
And before getting up in front of church, were you someone at home? Were you entertaining your family with your singing? Did you enjoy it in that way as well?
Yeah, for sure. Dude, they hated hearing me sing forever. Like they'd be like, Dalton, shut up. My mom had a desk set up and it was like between the kitchen and the dining room. And she had a laptop and I downloaded YouTube, and I'm sure some of the videos are still up, but I would get on there and I would just start singing covers. I would do some Keith Whitley covers. I would do Usher covers. I would do, Chris Young covers. And that's just some of the stuff every single day. I'd come home from school and just start singing, just get in front of the computer and just start singing the instrumentals.
That's awesome. And within your family, is anyone else musical? Like, was your mom musical in any way?
Well, my mom, she also sang in church. My grandpa, I think it kind of branches off from him. I'm the only one that really sings. Everybody else, like my brother, he works. He works at a scrap yard and he does his own thing. And my cousin, we all, like, anytime that we're not doing anything else with our job, we're working for our grandpa logging and stuff. So I'm kind of the only one that does music like that. But my grandpa sings in church every Sunday still. So.
And let's dive into your grandpa. Tell me about him. You talk about him a lot, and I know he's one of your main influences when it comes to music. So tell me about him and the type of man he was when you were growing up and how he has sort of led your journey.
Right. Well, I think every one of us have a man or a woman in their life that we kind of look at as Superman. And, my grandpa was that man for me. And he was just always there, growing up. I didn't have a father at home and stuff, so my grandpa filled them shoes. And, obviously, like if I say I get an F on my report card, my grandpa was the one that come and seen me, so it was kind of one of the things. My grandpa, he's always been an influence for me musically and just life in general, man. He's taught me a lot. Just me watching him through the years, and it's pretty cool.
And is he a pretty down home country man? Like, was he all about the country music? Did he sort of expand into other genres, or was it really country music for him?
Yeah, my grandpa, he loves Marty Robbins. He loves Elvis. So he's the one that kind of turned me on to, like I said, Marty Robbins, Elvis, Keith Whitley, and just a lot of the older people that was in country music back in the day. And that's how I really got turned on and really started loving country music whenever I heard Marty Robbins for the first time. And then my grandpa saying, here's this Elvis song I think you'd like, and then I would listen to it and I would just fall in love with all that stuff. So.
And now there was a talent show back in the 5th grade that you won, and you won by singing Justin Bieber's Baby. Now, what did your grandpa think about that?
So I think that was one of the first moments where everybody was like, holy crap, he can really, he can perform in front of people. So like he was really excited, man. Like I think I think that looking back now, he was probably like, why did he sing Justin Bieber?
That's what I was
But
wondering.
but he was excited for me, and so was everybody. I think that's when it really like. I think that's whenever I was like, man, I love this. I'm gonna keep doing this.
And what was the performance side like for you back then? Were you comfortable on stage? Were you comfortable with all those people watching you sing?
Yeah, well, I'm I can't say I've ever been really shy, but I guess it was kind of different than it is now. But like then, it was kind of the first couple things I've ever done in front of people. So every time I'd get up and sing in front of anybody, like I would have a little bit of shyness in me, but when I opened up and really like, by the time I got to the halfway through the chorus, I was wide open, so I was ready to go.
And did you put any country spin on that song in the fifth grade, or did country sort of come later for you?
It kind of come later for me. I went through a phase where I was listening to Justin Bieber and I was listening to a lot of pop stuff, and I still do today. But country music's always been around and stuff. It's just at that time when I was 15 years old, I kind of I fell into, I was a believer. And, still to this day, man, I still sing all that stuff, just country music. That's my roots, man. So,
And you mentioned growing up without your dad around. Now, what did that look like for you? Have you known your dad, or is that something that's just never been a part of your life?
well, I've met him a couple times, and I've talked to him on the phone a couple times, but I don't guess we've ever really had the relationship that I think we could have had if he would have been around whenever I was my son's age. So unfortunately now I'm all grown up. I've got children of my own, and I've got my own life to live now. And we just kind of just never really just had the opportunity and the moment to be able to really get to know each other and stuff. So no hate toward him, but it's just it's really just not anything that I've ever wanted to do.
And so, how has that influenced your journey in growing up and especially becoming the dad that you've become? Do you sort of take inspiration from that and making sure you're there for your kids because you didn't have that growing up?
Yeah, 100%, man. Like I think whenever my daughter was born, I always said that I will be a better father than what my father was to me. And, I feel like I've lived up to that, and I will continue to live up to that. But, and also being around, a man like my grandpa, he taught me the ins and outs. I was scared to death when I was going to become a dad, but, my grandpa was there. He taught me these things. Obviously some things just come natural when you're a dad, but, he taught me some things, and there's some just things I can never take back.
And you talk about becoming a dad, that happened early for you. I believe you dropped out of school in the 11th grade to welcome your daughter and prepare for real life. So, what was that time like for you? Like we mentioned, people growing up and not leaving the hometown. When you dropped out of school in grade 11, was your thought just like, here comes real life, and I'm just going to get a job and stay in the hometown, and this is life now?
For sure. Yeah, man. It was definitely scary, like being 17 and, welcoming a baby girl into the world and not going back to school and knowing that I'm going to have to get a job to support this family that I have now. And, and I've done it, man. I've done it with no hesitation. And, obviously it was scary, but it's something that I overcome really quick because I didn't have a choice, and a lot of people today that go through the same thing, they'll message me and say, man, I'm scared. I don't know what to do. And then I've had that wisdom and I've been through that thing. So I know I can talk to you. I can help you through whatever you need. And that I'm glad that I went through it because I wouldn't be who I am today for sure.
And as far as music during that time, it was just before, I believe, around 15 that you started playing guitar and getting into that along with your singing. And so during that time, how was music helping you through those moments?
Well, like whenever I I really found a love for it whenever I started playing music, when I started playing guitar. And my wife's brother Brandon, he would come over to the house, man, and we would just pick all day long. And sometimes they would even go into early mornings. We'd just stay up all night just picking, and we'd build a bonfire and just pick around the fire and just hang out all night and invite some friends over. And in that time, Aaliyah, she was just a baby, and I would never leave the house. Then I wasn't playing shows. I had the talent show under my belt, and I might have done some stuff around my buddies' living rooms. But other than that, I'd never stepped on another stage, but I was just being around people. I was picking, singing songs. and just singing, and that's, I guess, just where I found my love for it.
And you talk about your brother-in-law, Brandon. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe you lost him in a car accident a few years back. And so I wanted to ask you about him and what he meant to sort of your beginning love of music and how he inspires you now and just carrying his spirit with you into this
Yeah,
journey.
for sure. Well, me and Brandon, we started out really young. I've known him ever since I was my son's age, 5 years old. And
Oh, wow.
yeah, man. So we've known each other for a really long time. And luckily we got put in the same classroom when we was in ninth grade. And man, we gave the teacher hell. But we we kind of just like, we started linking up, we started playing. At the time I didn't play guitar, I just sang. So he would play guitar and I would sing. And then, like we would, like I said, we would go to friends' houses and we just kind of become this duo that was unbreakable. But that he really inspired me because like I would see him play guitar, I'd see how happy he was when he hit the G chord, and I was like, man, I want to do that. So when I got my first guitar, my grandpa bought me a Fender from a pawn shop. It was just a cheap acoustic guitar, and I stayed up every single night trying to learn how to play, man. And finally, it took me about 2 weeks, and I had learned G, C, and D, and then I started playing every song that I possibly could think of. The first song that I learned to play, I think, was "Don't Close Your Eyes" by Keith Whitley.
Oh,
And man,
nice.
dude, after I learned that, I just like I fell in love with it, and ever since then, it's been crazy.
And when did you start performing and actually getting in front of people and performing? Because I saw a post on your socials from June of 2018 that you were up on stage somewhere playing a show. So when did that stage begin for you?
When I started playing shows, I was probably 17-ish. 24 now. Yeah, I was probably 17. I started playing shows, at festivals and around Aragon and festivals in Rockmart, which is down the street, in Rome. I started playing festivals, and then little venues would pop up here and there and say, "Hey, we'd love for you to come play." So I'd hop in. Eventually, I started building a band, and the year of 2019, I think we played 150 bar shows.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, man. So we was slammed, and we was playing for no money at all. We'd go play a full band show for $100 just to be able to step on stage, but we was having the time of our life, man. And all them times that I was playing on stage in the bars, now it all matters. I never looked back and I was like, man, this ain't gonna matter. I don't want to go play that show, but now I'm glad that I did.
Well, that's a big thing I was going to ask because in this day and age with TikTok and with different avenues that artists have, it's easy to explode and get popular pretty quickly. But I look back on the musicians who had to put in their time. They had to put in those 4 or 5 years in the bar. And I think that's really important for understanding who you are as an artist, right? So those days with you in the bar and still performing in bars, is that a pretty important step in this musical career for you?
Yeah, no doubt, man. Like I love now, like I've had all them experiences in the past. There's nothing more than I love to step on a hardwood stage and stomp it all night long with some of my best friends, and like, I've played tons of shows, since I've started this. And it's always a different feeling every time I step on the stage. So most definitely, man. And my band, like I step on stage with my band, every time I step on either any stage with them, it always feels like it's the first time. So, that's very important to me.
And so in 2019, when you decided to try out for The Voice, what was the thought within that of saying, I'm going to give this a try?
Yeah.
Before you went, sort of what was your feeling of it?
Well, dude, honestly, I didn't even think I was gonna make it. I didn't think really anything of it. I was honestly just trying to make my mom and my wife happy. They was like, "You should go do this." And I was like, "Come on, guys, let's be real. I'm just gonna go to work. Let me just keep doing what I'm doing. Everything's gonna be good. We're making it." So I went and I done the open call. And when I got there, it was kind of intimidating, man, because there was thousands of people in this long line. I was like, "Y'all really want to stand in this line for 4 hours?" They was like, "Yes, we're gonna stand here." And I was like, "Cool, let's do it." So we stood in there, and I've done the audition. I've done Tennessee whiskey for my first audition, and they passed me through. And I was shocked, man. And then I come back and made it again. And then, dude, after the second audition that I did for The Voice, man, it was just kind of like a dream, like it was like crazy.
And now stepping up for the blind auditions, like you say, you had been playing a lot of shows before that in bars,
Mhm.
but
Yep.
moment on the stage for the blind auditions, was that unlike anything you had ever experienced before?
For sure, man. Like, I guess being who I was then, I'm a different person now, like just wisely, but like then I was definitely very nervous. I remember like I remember having shakes I've never felt before. And then I walk out and then like it's so quiet. All you hear is your foot just click, click, walking across the floor. And dude, if you know me, man, you would have just died laughing because it's just funny. But it was terrifying, man. And then I struck the first note. I looked back at the band. I was like, let's do this. And I struck the first note. So on the voice, like you cannot hear the chairs turning around. Like that's all put in. So
Okay.
yeah. So like I did not hear the chair turn around. So I had my eyes closed. I was singing. And then I was like, don't close your eyes. And I looked down and Blake Shelton was looking at me. And I was like, holy shit, dude. And like I didn't have nobody to talk to. I didn't have nobody to look at or anything. It was just black all beside me. So it was surreal, man. It was surreal for sure.
And how do you keep playing at that point? Is there part of you that just wants to stop playing and be like, what the hell is going on right now?
Yes, bro. I'm telling you, man. Like I wanted to stop so bad. And like, but even when the music was over and they started asking me questions, dude, I was speechless. And I've not felt that feeling yet again. I've not felt it again. And I get starstruck really easy, especially like if I see somebody like Blake Shelton. I got to meet Brooks and Dunn during that whole thing, and that was pretty cool. But then when I first seen Blake Shelton, dude, I don't know, like I'm sure, dude, you've been really starstruck
Oh,
in
yeah.
moment where you're like, holy crap, they're really standing right here. And that was me, dude. Like I was like really shocked. I didn't know what to say. They was like, what's your name? And I was like, like I did not know what to say. I was shocked, man, because dude, you never know, man. I didn't know if I was gonna go up there and get a chair turn. That was just I could have walked up there and not got a chair turn. So just to get Blake Shelton to turn around for me was pretty cool.
That is awesome. And how
Yeah.
important was that experience for you in helping you develop as an artist going into this next stage of your career?
Yeah. Well, man, see, I was around a lot of people that played and done the same thing that I did. And, at the time I was like, damn, I'm all in competition with these people. And then like as time went on, I was like, well, I've got some really good friends here. Like it's not that I didn't want to leave the show just not to be on TV anymore, but I didn't want to leave the show just because like I'm leaving all of my friends behind now. So
Right.
I learned, to sit in a room with other musicians. That's where I learned writing at. I learned how to, sit in a room with other people that do what I do and just, write. We would talk music and I learned my artistry there. I learned who Dalton Dover was at that moment. I think that right there is really what helps me today.
And what's the feeling when you leave that show? Because you're leaving a show that you're on TV, you have millions of people watching you every week, but then you leave and you're at square one again, right? Because it's not necessarily like people are throwing record contracts at you or anything. You're basically having to go back home and look at what's next. So for you, when you left that show, what was your mindset of what's next?
Definitely winning. Even though I lost, I still felt like a winner, and I knew that I had some unfinished business that I had to do, and I knew that I just couldn't go out like that. So I come home, and my mindset was okay. We need to start writing. I need to start writing. I need to put some music out. I need to grow my social media following. I need to play more shows. I need to do some meet and greets. I need to find out where all my fans are from the show and go see them. I need to be in front of my fans at all times. And that was my mindset when I come back, and like still my mindset today. Even though I lost my bat around, I still felt like a winner. And I think that right there, like a lot of people, if they lose, they're like, man, I lost. I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm just going to go back home and continue working at this crappy job and blah, and I'm just like, dude, I'm not going back to work. I'm going to keep doing this and I'm going to use whatever momentum. Cause at the time I didn't know what kind of momentum I had, Instagram, I had it, Facebook, I had it. TikTok wasn't around then. So I had all these things and I'd seen that people was following me, but then I was like, I don't know what this is for, but I'm going to use it,
Right.
So still like I took whatever I had from there, even locally, I took all the success that I've had from the show. I took it off and I ran with it as far as I could take it. And then, obviously I had to live down, Dalton Dover from The Voice to just being Dalton Dover, the country music singer. So that was a task for me also.
Yeah, what is that transition like just mentally? Because, like I say, you're coming off of a lot of attention and then you're moving into a phase where that attention sort of goes away. And like you say, you're not Dalton Dover on The Voice, you are just Dalton Dover, the musician. So, do you have to mentally sort of process that and figure that out?
Well, I think, in my opinion, man, it's in the fans. Like you give the fans, if the fans are just going to know you from The Voice, and that's how they're going to know you. But when you're doing songs like "Baby I Am," when you're blowing up on TikTok, and they seeing, like, I don't promote The Voice that much anymore, so like now they see Dalton Dover. Obviously some people still know me from The Voice, but now some people are like, oh wow, he was on The Voice too. Like, so that's the reaction. That's where I feel like I've really done a great job at kind of taking the TV show away from the artist, not attaching that anymore. I'm always thankful for it. I'm glad that it was there, and I'm super thankful for the experience, but I knew that I was not going to be able to run with that forever. And I learned that about 5 months after I got eliminated.
Okay. And as far as the songwriting goes, when did songwriting begin for you?
I've always like had ideas. I've always wrote down ideas. I've always like jotted stuff down in my iPhone that are still in my phone probably today that I've not seen in 5 years. So, and then whenever I started like really getting serious into it, I started going back through my notes. I'm like, wow, I love that. I love that. And then I started colliding stuff together. The first song that I wrote was with my wife's uncle. His name's Michael. We wrote a song called "That in Their Plans." It's not definitely not a number one hit, but I holds a special place in my heart, man, because that was the first song that I ever released. And it was, it's nothing special, but, just a good old boy. I think you can hear the struggle in my voice when I'm singing, and you can hear how hungry I was in the recording, and I love it. I still listen to it every day.
And now you're starting to do more co-writing. What has that meant to your writing in developing and helping you grow as a
Yeah.
songwriter?
Well, it's really wild, man. Like I started writing with some of these guys that I'm really growing cool relationships with and friendships and stuff. And it's just kind of like, it's really cool, man, because I've learned how, like, at first I was really nervous the first time I went into a co-write, and I really didn't know how to respond because I'm not used to writing with nobody that I really just don't know. Obviously before the write, I'll do my research and say, okay, he wrote this song. I love this song. So I see what he loves. So I knew that, bringing my ideas, and, I've learned that we feed off of my ideas, and whatever ideas that anybody has in the room, we just feed off of each other. And then at the end of the day, we have a song.
Right. And one of the people that has helped you along this journey is Matt McVaney, and he has helped you to produce your current music.
Yeah.
Now, what has he meant over the past year or so since he approached you to work with you?
Yeah, me and McVee, man, he's definitely become my best friend. Every day, I'll never forget the first time he sent me an email. He's like, "Hey, man, I'm really digging your stuff," and he said, "I found you on a Kid G video on Kid G's page," and da da da. And I was like, "Dude, this is crazy," Like, I looked him up and I seen that he had worked with Kane early in his career, and I thought it was freaking sick, dude. So I went up to Nashville and we started talking. We went to dinner and we just started talking about everything. And since then, it's probably been, I'm gonna just say, about 7 months, maybe. Dude, we've grown to be really, really tight. So.
And what has he taught you so far about the industry and just a career in country music?
McVee he's always told me, be yourself, be no less, know your worth, and be yourself always. Sing your heart out when you get behind this mic, because whenever you sing with your heart, people are going to feel it. And I think he's not led me in the wrong direction yet. So.
And what does your Nashville journey look like? When did you start making trips to Nashville and start to sort of get into the co-writing and meet people in Nashville and make that part of your journey?
Right. So when me and McVie hooked up, we cut You Got a Small Town and Baby I Am. And we had these songs, and, and he had somebody at the time, I didn't know who he was, but he's also turned out to be one of my best friends. His name's Jim Catino. And, Jim started like booking me co-writes still today. Like, he books me co-writes, and like he's putting me in front of people that he knows, and like I'm growing relationships with these people. And dude, this all seems so surreal, man. So just in the last year, Nashville has literally become my home away from home, for sure.
And what did Nashville mean to you before this? Because like you say, you didn't necessarily grow up with the thought of a career in music or country music. So when you started going to Nashville within the last few months, did it mean something more to you because it meant something in the past?
Yeah, for sure. Like being like, whenever I first started coming to Nashville, the first place that I wanted to go to is Broadway. I wanted to go to Broadway. I wanted to see the neon lights. I wanted to hear all the bands playing in the bars. I wanted to experience that. I wanted to see the Bridgestone Arena right there in the middle of Broadway. I wanted to see all this stuff. And whenever I started going up, it was, I just had this fanboy feeling in me, and I was like, holy crap, I'm actually here. I'm here, I'm doing this. Um, you know, there was people told me I would never do this. I'm so glad I'm here and I'm doing this. And now it's just kind of like become my home, dude. And it's just been crazy. It was a crazy feeling.
And what's the mindset that you have to go into this career with? Because I know that you are a huge family man, but going into this career, it's a career that takes you away from your family for long periods. And so, how do you sort of balance that in your mind and coming to grips with loving your family, but also wanting to chase this career?
Man, I'm really determined. I'm determined, I'm focused, and my family, luckily, they're really my biggest supporters. My wife, she supports me 100%. And I think that helps, with the help of my mom, with the help of my grandpa and my grandma and my family. They're all just very supportive, man. So even if I had a doubt in my mind, I got the type of family to be like, no, you need to get your ass up. You need to go do what you got to do. And I think that right there is really, really what has pushed me, because there's been doubts in my mind, and I've been scared, and, I've been really nervous on what to do. And, but luckily my support system here and up in Nashville, man, they, yet to, really let me know that everything's going to be okay, that you're great, that you're going to do this, and that's the mindset. It's very, very determined.
And I was talking to Nate Smith, who is another up and comer, the other day, and he mentioned that it was only like within the last couple of months that his dad gave him a nod, like, you're going to do great things. And he said he thinks his dad didn't necessarily give that to him before that because he wanted to push him. He wanted to drive him forward. He didn't necessarily want to tell him, you are where you should be. And so with your grandpa, does he show how proud he is of you, or does he really like to push you, like, keep going, go get it?
My grandpa shows me love every day. He calls me and he'll just tell me how proud he is of me. And he knew that I was going to do this, and he never had a doubt in his mind that I wasn't going to succeed. And, he still, man, he's so encouraging, just stuff that I'll just hold in my heart every single day. Like whenever we got the news, I can't say the news that I've got, but when we got the news
Are
that
you
they're
sure?
going to be announced, I can't. When we got the news, that, we got some stuff happening, and, he called me and he started crying. I started crying, and he's like, son, he said, I knew you was going to do it. He said, I never had a doubt in my mind. And that right there to me just meant everything. So I was like, man, I'm never going to not do this. I'm going to run as far as I can. And then, if it don't go any further than this, dude, I'm happy. I'm so happy with myself. I'm happy with my team that's behind me, my manager, Charlie. I'm super blessed, and, I wouldn't have asked for nothing more.
And we talked about your late brother-in-law, Brandon. Now, as you move along this journey, as you take steps towards this big career in country music, what does his spirit mean to you in just looking up and saying, we're doing it?
Yeah. So I remember we was in the sixth grade, and we was in a science class, and I looked over at him. I said, man, look, if I live my dream, you're going to live your dream too. And he told me the same thing. We pinky promised each other. And every day I wake up, I'm just like, man, his grave is literally 2 minutes down the road. And I'll go over there sometimes, and I'll just sit there. I'm like, man, we're doing it. We got this, we're doing it. And that right there, man, it's overwhelming at times just to know that he's not here and I can't say anything. But I know that every time I'm recording a song, I know every time I'm in the studio, I just know he's right there with me.
That is awesome. And your kids, I know they're also a big part of this journey. And I saw a video on Instagram of you singing with your daughter. What does that mean to you, those moments?
I want to be I know I'm their dad, but I also want to be their friend. I also want to be somebody that they can come to anytime they need anything. And I think, the music has allowed me and my daughter to connect because she loves singing. She'll walk around the house and sing "Baby I Am" all the time, you know. So she's she's to that point now where she understands what Daddy does. She understands what I'm doing. She loves the music. So like she's my worst critic. So like when I have a song, I'm like, "Look, baby, you like this song?" And she's like, "Yeah, I love it." And then when I get a mix and I listen to it, and she's like, "I was like, do you like it?" She's like, "No, I don't like it." She won't tell me the reason why, but she'll tell me she don't like it. So she's definitely they're definitely a big part of this, man. I'll do it all for them too.
That's awesome. And I saw another post where you said that your son had told you that when he grows up, he wants to be like you. And what does a moment like that mean when you hear that from your son?
That's pretty cool, man. Like my son, he's kind of I've noticed these past couple months that I've been a big influence on him. So my drummer, I have a drummer, and he plays the cajon sometimes when we play acoustic shows, and he'll play a cajon, and my son will just sit there and he'll daze at him and he'll just watch him. So people don't believe me whenever I tell them my son can actually play, but my son can really keep a rhythm, and I'm not joking at all. But like he can really play. So we was sitting in the living room one day, and how I found that out, like we was sitting in the living room, and he loves "Beer Never Broke My Heart." Luke Combs, that's his favorite song. You ask him what song he wants to play, that's the song he wants, and he'll tell you he wants to play "Beer Never Broke My Heart." You start playing, and he'll just play right along with you and not miss a beat. And obviously he's 5 years old, so he's not Rich Redmond, but
Yeah.
he can, you know, he can get down, man. So yeah, he's an amazing kid, man. I've got some really amazing kids.
That's awesome. And you mentioned Luke Combs. I know he is a big inspiration for you. What does he mean just every day and pushing forward and seeing what he's been able to do and just saying it is possible for me?
Right. Well, I think I hear a lot of times like people say, well, he's a fat guy, you know, if Luke Combs can make it, you can make it. Well, for me, it's kind of like I relate to him like on a different level. I think because of the music, man. His music speaks to me. Like, you know, obviously I love a lot of his stuff. I love all of his stuff, but like his first album, I jam it every day. I know every single song on it. And I think he's probably the only artist that I would meet and just absolutely fangirl 100%. And I've been super close, but like I've yet to meet him and shake his hand or talk to him. So I definitely want to make that happen.
That's awesome. And as you move along this journey, I saw a post that you had on Instagram that you said there's times you've had nothing, there's times you've had something, but along the journey, it's just about moving forward and being grateful for what you have.
100%.
And as you grow along this journey, how excited are you and how proud are you of the fact that you are working towards making country music your career and making country music something that allows you to always have something in your life?
Yeah. Like I'm super thankful, man. Like there's no words that I think can describe how I feel on a daily. But like I do remember me being 10 years old listening to Chris Young on the radio, you know, listening to all these guys on the radio. I'm like, damn, that song really touched me. And now that Dalton Dover is making music that's touching people, man, there's no words that can describe that. I think that, you know, sky's the limit for anybody. And if you got something that you want to do, if I can do it, you can do it, you know, and that's what I live by.
And the latest single is Baby I Am. And as you release music and as you get that feedback from the fans, what is that like for you?
Um, Baby I Am was massive, man. It was when I hear a song, whether I wrote it or not, I did not write Baby I Am. But when I heard that song, I told McVie, I said, dude, this song is going to be huge. He's like, you think so? I was like, dude, I'm telling you, it's going to be huge. And the fans have just took it in and they've soaked it in so much. So like, I've yet to play it live yet. I've not played it live yet. So I'm really looking forward to the moment that I'm able to take these songs and play them out live for the fans. And I'm just really excited, man. It's so wild.
And what is the next little bit looking like for you? Are there shows on the horizon? You mentioned news that you can't talk about right now, but for what you can talk about, what does the next few months look like for you?
Busy, man. I want to get in. I want to definitely want to get in, be in front of the fans a lot more live. I've actually got band rehearsal in about an hour, so I'm definitely,
nice.
The band is rehearsing. We're getting ready for whatever is to come, whether it's live or acoustic, you know, and definitely writing more songs. I definitely want to pour my heart out into these songs that I've been writing. And I was telling Ashley earlier that I got this song that, you know, that I'm really, really looking forward for the fans to hear. It's called My Dad. I went into a write with my buddy Alex Maxwell and one of our other buddies, and I told him, I was like, man, I really want to write a song for my kids, and not just a song for them, but a song for, the guy next door that has a daughter that, that really looks up to him. And I want to write a song for these kids and these parents. And I really think that the fans are going to connect to it on a different level. And I'm just super excited, man. These next few months are going to be wild.
You were able to visit the Grand Ole Opry and sing on the stage in sort of an empty building. What did that experience mean for you?
It was pretty crazy. I did not expect to go in there and sing anything. We was in Nashville. I was recording with Matt that day, and we just had some free time. So me and my wife, we went over to the Grand Ole Opry, took a tour, and obviously there was people there, and the lady that was there, she was like, "Does anybody want to sing in the circle?" And I was like, "No, I'm good. I don't want to." And Faith was like, "No, you need to do this." So I done it, man. I got on there. I stood in the circle, which was a weird feeling, man. I've never felt like that before, just knowing the history that has stood there. And I sang Amazing Grace just because I knew that was the first song that I ever wanted to sing in there. And I hope that it's not my last time ever performing there, but I definitely want to. It was definitely an experience.
Thank you so much once again for listening, and thank you to Dalton for stopping by and sharing his story. Be sure to check out his new single, Baby I Am, wherever you stream your music, and keep your eye on his socials for exciting news coming soon. Please also be sure to visit our website, countrymusicmademe.com. You can listen to all of our episodes there, and you can also sign up for our newsletter so you can receive exclusive weekly content, including previews of upcoming episodes. Just head over to countrymusicmademe.com and hit that subscribe button. Thanks once again so much for joining us, and we'll see you next time on Country Music Made Me.